Hey everybody, it's Noel from the Drawing Room, here to tell you about Obsessive Layers 2.0, which I'm very excited about. We got lots of love and lots of user feedback, and we made a new tool that we're very excited about. Let me take you through it, okay? Up here in the panel, as you can see, there's a couple of new buttons and a couple of new functions. I will explain all of those to you. Trim to keyframes is still the same as it ever was. Keeps your comps nice and tidy and just the way you like them. You basically just select all of your layers that you want to trim, and with one button you can trim to all of your keyframes. So it's that easy. If you want to get more specific, you can trim just to the first keyframes, or you can trim to the last keyframes. Trim to markers just means that if you select all of your layers, or however many layers you want, and you press this one button, it now trims them to your markers, just as the name suggests. Let's move along to trim to mattes. So as in version 1.0, of course you have matte and fill pairs in After Effects, and if you want to trim them together, now you can do it with the click of a button, just like so. And if you want to go the other way and you want to trim your mattes to your fills, you just hit Alt when you click the button and it trims them that way for you. So very easy, same as it was in version 1.0. Okay, we've made a couple of changes in trim to parent and trim to children. We've made them more specific, so we've split them into two. So now it's two buttons basically, but here you go. So you have a situation where you have a few children and they're parented to one thing, and that in turn is parented to a master null or something like that, right? And you have parent chain basically, and you want to be able to trim this in a couple of different ways. If you select the children and then you just hit trim to parent, it will trim them to the immediate parent like so. But if I undo that for one sec and I alt press this button, it trims it to the grandparent, as it were, the master parent. So that's a new function that we put in that we're pretty excited about. If you select everything and trim to parent, it also trims obviously to the master parent as well. Okay, so that's the new trim to parent with the new functions. And here's the new trim to children, which is very specific, but again, here you have a situation with a parent chain, and you want to have a couple of options in how you trim this. So if you go by the master and you trim to children, you trim to the immediate child, and if you alt press the button, you trim to the grandchildren, as it were. I don't know if that's really a term, but that's what we're calling it. So now let's move on to this, which we built a lot of functionality in this sort of help menu as well. So check it out. This actually is really cool. There's this checkbox here, and if you want, you can uncheck certain tools that you think maybe you'd never use, and that can make your panel nice and neat and smaller if you need some real estate for your comp, for example. So that's a new function, and let me turn those back on a sec. And so the best function, I think, the newest thing, and I'm the most excited about, are these graphic icons, okay? So now if you want a tiny little window, if you have almost no real estate, if you're using millions of tools, okay, now you can have just graphic icons that do all of the same things that those buttons do with words on them. It's all completely customizable, and After Effects will remember your settings and relaunch it that way when you open After Effects again. Here in the advanced settings, we have a bunch of new things that I don't need to get into specifics about, but believe me, if you're a big nerd, you will be very excited by this, as we are. So check it out.